All right, we were fortunate enough today to get Roddy White to come into the Olympic Training Center. He actually came in last night and leaves tomorrow. The reason he's out here is USA Wrestling is looking to have a football player to wrestler campaign. We figured he'd be the perfect spokesperson for that. Clearly people know his football background, 3-time Pro Bowler for the Atlanta Falcons, but not everybody knows his wrestling background. He's a 2-time state champion in South Carolina, 2-time state runner-up. He's incredibly proud of his wrestling background. He gives a lot of credit of his success to his wrestling background. So knowing what the importance it had in shaping him, both as a football player and as a person, he brought his high school wrestling team, or his wrestlers from his high school alma mater, James Island in South Carolina, out to the Olympic Training Center. So we have 10 of his athletes from his high school here. We just got done with a photo shoot that we'll be using for promotional material for USA Wrestling moving forward. Hopefully it's the beginning of a great relationship with USA Wrestling and Roddy White.
Roddy White here at the Olympic Training Center, Pro Bowl wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons with a wrestling background. You're out here in Colorado Springs working with the USA Wrestling Initiative to kind of encourage football players to get on the mat and wrestle. Why are you here for that?
Because I love wrestling, and all through my life that's all I did. Until I started hitting these growth spurts, I thought I was going to be a wrestler. So, I like to encourage people to do great things that's actually going to help them in their career. And, wrestling helped me a whole lot, in my football ability and my skills and my quickness and my hand-to-hand combat and things like that, and balance and things like that. So it's really helped me and helped my game grow in the football atmosphere. And, I've seen a lot of success from that.
You started your wrestling career as a freshman in high school. You weighed 112 pounds.
Yeah.
And you finished your career at 189 pounds. So the skills you picked up from wrestling translated on the gridiron as you grew. And what particular skills do you pick up as a skill position as a wide receiver that translate well to the football field?
Especially, just in wrestling, you always have hand-to-hand combat, and it's always, you always need to be on balance. And just at the line of scrimmage, going against DBs and things like that, you have to be on balance. You can't get knocked off of routes, and always hand-to-hand combat. So, coming from the wrestling mat to going straight to doing that, I had no problems adjusting to it. And that was something special about me, coming, out of college and things like that. They always see me getting off a bump and run, and, nobody can sit there and bum me at the line of scrimmage, which makes you a great player in the NFL.
What's it like for you to be here with USA Wrestling at the Olympic Training Center, really having the opportunity to give back? You've brought several wrestlers from your high school in James Island, South Carolina, to come check out the experience. What's it been like from their perspective with you, and from your perspective with USA Wrestling?
Oh, it's been great for those guys to get in there and learn from the guys that have done it at a very, very high level. Especially on this mat, and those guys, just learn from those guys and getting the opportunity to just roll around with those guys and just learn from them. And for me, just being around these guys and just catching stories, about their wrestling careers, and how some of those guys are four-time state champions and never lost high school matches and things like that, and they're out here, and then they're like right in front of your face, and you're like, that's that guy, and it's amazing, because I'm a big fan of wrestling, and I see these guys out here, it's like I'm so shocked, and like this guy was like Roland was right there in front of me, like Roland was right there in front of me, and I was like, wow, this guy is a gold medal winner, and I'm standing next to him, so I'm a fan of the sport, and I just love to wrestle.
You alluded to Rulon Gardner, who you met at lunch. You also met Henry Cejudo, 2008 Olympic champion. So in your couple hours here on the ground, you've met two of the most notable names in wrestling in the last two quadrenniums. Exactly,
man. Those guys are good people, man. And Rulon is a funny guy, and Henry's even funnier. And those guys are out there, sitting down eating lunch with me at the table, and we're just cracking jokes and just having fun.
What's the best thing about being able to be kind of the figurehead of this USA Wrestling football program that, honestly, did it catch you by surprise that you were the guy that we were reaching out to?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime you get a chance to, help people out and, help, especially with kids and things like that, and dealing with guys like that and promoting a great sport that sells itself in discipline and just being in the right spot and doing everything the right way to get what you want. It's much needed, necessary for you to do that. And, I just feel good about this whole vibe and environment that we're doing, and, hopefully it takes off.
Do you think this will encourage some of those high school football coaches that think football first and
wrestling,
everything else second, and to say, hey, wait a minute, there's some Pro Bowlers, there's some NFL players that are specifically
exactly. because wrestlers breed toughness, you know, and in this sport you have to be tough no matter, you know, what you do, and you know, to get those guys in here and get them out there on the football field, it's just amounts to success. You know, there's a lot of guys that have wrestled in the NFL that are very, very good, you know, football players and things like that. And it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to get better, and they'll continue to wrestle and be great football players.